Dear secondary stage students, welcome to our English program. Today we are going to continue Unit 4. We are going to start Lesson 2. Lesson 2 is talking about grammar, and we are going to talk about a very important piece of grammar, which is countable and uncountable nouns. We are going to know how to use countable and uncountable nouns, and we are going again to use articles, the definite and indefinite article. Let's start. So what are our objectives for today? By the end of this lesson, you will be able to differentiate between countable and uncountable nouns. You are going to use the definite and definite article correctly. Okay, let's start together. And let's warm up by a question. What is a noun? First of all, before we discuss the countable and the uncountable, we want to know what is a noun. A noun is a word that is the name of a person. For example, it can be a name of a person such as boy or girl. This is a noun. It can be a name of an animal such as a cat, a dog, a tiger. This is a noun. It can be a place. For example, supermarket, hotel, cinema, school. This is a noun. It can be a thing such as a pen or paper. This is a noun. And it can be abstract things such as honesty, beauty, love. This is a noun. So what is a noun? That is the word that describes person, describes an animal, describes a place, a thing, or an abstract noun. How do you know if the noun is countable or uncountable? How can we decide that this noun is countable or it's not countable? It's easy. Try to count it. If you can count it, it's countable. What does it mean to count it? To say 1, 2, 3 of it. So, for example, the word money. Can we count the word money itself? Can we say, I have 10 money? Of course not. We can't say that. So, this word is uncountable. We can't count the word money itself. But we can count the pounds or the dollars. So, we can count coins, pennies, dollars, pounds, but not the word money itself. So, the word money is uncountable. It can't be plural. But the word pound is countable. We can say, I have 10 pounds. Okay? So, let's see groups of words which we call uncountable. Uncountable nouns can be, for example, if you look at this cup of water, it contains water. The water inside is uncountable. We can't say one water, two waters, but we can say a cup of water. We can say a glass of water, a mug of water, a bottle of water. So the word water itself is uncountable, but the container is countable. Okay? Look at these groups of words and see what are the uncountable nouns. The first thing is liquids. All liquids are uncountable. For example, we say milk, we say tea, coffee, juice. All these words and more liquids are uncountable. What does it mean uncountable? It means we can't make them plural. We can't add the plural s. We can say milks. Okay, so it's uncountable noun. Even if we say coffees, we don't mean the liquid itself. We mean cups of coffee. So the word milk, the liquid itself, or the word tea, the liquid itself, is uncountable. We have another thing. This is the quantity. Things which are too small to be counted. Things which are very small, like sugar, salt, rice. They are very, very small, and we can't count them. So we call these quantities like sugar, flour, sand, rice. What else can be uncountable? We have abstract. As we said, abstract nouns are uncountable. What's abstract? Something you can touch. Something you can touch. Like what? Like love, like honesty, like loyalty, love, loyalty, honesty, beauty. These words are uncountable because they are abstract. We can't touch them. We have other words, like, for example, news. The word news is uncountable. The word bread is uncountable. We can say one bread, two breads, but we can say a loaf of bread, a slice of toast, but we can't say one bread, two breads. No, it's uncountable. We can't add plural s here. We say a loaf of bread, a piece of news. Luggage, the word luggage means our bags in which we carry our clothes. This is our luggage, so it's uncountable noun. And again, the word advice, we say some advice, we say a piece of advice, but we can't say one advice. We can say some advices. No, it's wrong. We can't say that because it's uncountable. Okay? So the uncountable nouns, as we said, either liquids like water or coffee, quantities, things which are too small to be counted, like sugar, salt, sand, and so on. Abstract nouns like beauty, love, loyalty, honesty. Other things like news, bread, money, luggage, advice, and so on. So, okay, these are uncountable. What is the use of these uncountable nouns? We can't make them plural. We can't add a or an in front of them. They are usually treated as singular. They take singular verb. So we say love is, money is, advice is. They take a singular verb. Okay, let's move on. These things which are uncountable, we have a way to measure them. We can measure them. As I said before, I can't say one water, two waters, but I can say a cup of water, a glass of water, a bottle of water. These are called partitives. Partitives. How to measure these nouns, how to take part of these nouns. We say a tube of toothpaste, for example, a box of matches, a sheet of paper, a glass of lemonade, a lump of sugar, means a cube of sugar. In American English, they call it a cube of sugar, and in British English, they call it a lump of sugar, means a piece of sugar, compact sugar, a loaf of bread, a jar of jam, a bar of chocolate, a bottle of milk, or a bottle of oil, a bag of flour, or a packet of tea. So here we can make them singular by adding a jar of jam. For example, we can say, I want some jam, but we can say, I want a jar of jam. So we can say a jam, but we can say a jar of jam. We can say a toothpaste, but we can say a tube of toothpaste. We can't say an oil. No, we can't say that, but we can say a bottle of oil. Okay? So these are the partitives which we use with uncountable nouns. Here is something very important. Some nouns can be countable and uncountable at the same time. So we use them as countable nouns, and with a different meaning, they are uncountable nouns. For example, the word glass. The word glass, if we talk about the material itself, so we say the window is made of glass. This is the material. So it's uncountable. But when we say a glass, the container in which we put water, this is countable. So we say a glass, two glasses. When we talk about iron, again, if we talk about the material itself, the metal, the iron, this is uncountable. So we can say the table is made of iron. But when we talk about an iron, this is a tool or a device or a machine which we use to remove shrinks, to remove wrinkles, اللي هي المكوى. This is an iron. This is countable. So we can say an iron. It's a countable noun. So it has a different meaning. The word paper, when we talk about the material again, it's uncountable. But when we talk about a document, وثيقة مهمة, it's a paper. So we can say in our story, Jim found important papers in the wooden box. Papers, can we add S to the word paper? Isn't it uncountable? Yes, sometimes it's uncountable when we talk about paper in which we write, but it's countable when we talk about documents, or we talk about the newspaper. When we say I read the paper means the newspaper, it's countable. Again, the word experience. Experience can be countable. It means situations which we have in our life. But when we talk about work experience, it's uncountable. So I can say the work of a teacher, the job of a teacher needs much experience. So we say much, not many, much experience. But if I say I'm old enough and I have many experiences, we can say Yahya Haqqi wrote about his experiences. He traveled to many places and wrote about them in his stories. He wrote about his experiences, means about the situations which he met in his life. So the word experience, if it is the work experience, it's uncountable. If it means situations which we passed in our life, it's countable. What about light? Light, it can be the light which comes from the window, the light which comes from the sun. This is uncountable. But when we talk about the lamp itself which gives us light, so I want a light, or there are a lot of lights in this palace, means the lamp itself, this is countable. What about time? The word time can be uncountable if you talk about a period of time. But if we talk about how many times do you go to the cinema, how many times do you need me to explain this lesson? So times here means once and once again. It doesn't mean a period of time. Again, the word wood, if it is a material, it is uncountable. So we can say the chair is made of wood. But when it is woods, it means the forest. When we say the woods, we mean the forest. Okay? Here we have some quantifiers. Quantifiers are the words which we use with plural or with uncountable nouns. With plural nouns, we use many. So we say, have you got many friends? The word friend is countable. So we say, how many friends do you got? Have you got many friends? Yes, I have many. Or no, I haven't got many friends. Again, the word few. Few means a little number. Again, it's used with plural nouns. So I have a few eggs. So we can say few eggs, few pens, few friends, but we can't say few money because money is uncountable. We don't use few. We can say few pennies, few pounds, few coins. Okay, so many and few are used with plural nouns, countable plural nouns. What is the difference between few and a few? Few means very, very little. It's not enough to do anything. So if I say I have few eggs, it means that they are not enough to make a cake. I have few eggs. I need to buy more. So when I have few, it means they are too little. So they are not enough. They are not enough to do anything. So I have few eggs. I need to buy more. But if I say I have a few, means it's a little number, but it's enough. So we can say I have a few eggs, just enough to make a cake. So they are not many, but they are enough to make a cake. So we say a few. But if we say few, they are too little. So we say I have few eggs. They are not enough to make a cake. I have to buy some. What about uncountable nouns? We use much or little. Much. So we can say, did you eat much rice? No, I didn't eat much rice. Or we can use little or a little. Again, the difference between little and a little is the same. When there is a little butter in the fridge to make a cake. So it's not a big part of butter, but it's enough to make a cake. But when I say there is little milk, we need to buy more, means the milk is not enough. So we need to buy more. So again, the word little without a means not enough, too little. It's not enough to do something. But when we say a little, it's not a big quantity, but it's enough to do what we want. So we have the word much and a little or little, they are used with uncountable noun. So we can say, I have much money or I have a little money. What about the word a lot of or lots of? This is used with both countable and uncountable. It's used with plural or uncountable nouns. So I can say I have a lot of pens, I have lots of pens, or I have to buy a lot of flour. You see, the word pens is countable. We can say lots of pens, and the word flour is uncountable. We can say a lot of flour. So we can use the word lots of or a lot of with countable and the plural nouns. What about some? The word some again can be used in affirmative sentence with countable or uncountable. So we can say there is some cheese. Look at the word cheese, it's we treat it as singular. There is some cheese, but we say there are some people because people is countable, and the plural we treat it as plural, but the word cheese is uncountable, so we treat it as singular. There is some cheese, there are some people. So we use the word so with countable or uncountable. When we make offer, we use the word some. So we say, would you like some sandwiches? Would you like some tea? Would you like some coffee? We don't use any here because it's an offer. Or we can say, can I have some paper? It's a request. Can I have some paper? So in the offer or in a request, we don't use any. We use some. If you wanted to make an offer or you wanted to make a request, you use the word some. Would you like some coffee? But the word any is used in the negative form or in interrogative form in a question. For example, we say there isn't any cheese for breakfast. There aren't any pupils at school. And again, in the question, we can say, is there any milk left in the bottle? Is there any milk left? So here is a question. So we use any in the negative form or in a question, but take care when the question is an offer or a request, we use some. So we say, would you like some water? Would you like some tea? Would you like some coffee? Or can I have some tea? Can I have some coffee? When I make a request or an offer, we use some, not any. Now let's practice and answer some questions on countable and uncountable nouns. Look at question number 1. We didn't do shopping last week. We didn't do much, many, some, a few. The word shopping, is the word shopping countable or uncountable? Can we touch shopping? Shopping is an abstract noun, something abstract. We can't touch it. So it's uncountable. We didn't do, the sentence is negative. We didn't do, think about it. We didn't do much shopping because here we don't have any. We can say we didn't do any shopping, but we don't have in the options here the word any. So we can say we didn't do much shopping. It means we did shopping, but not much. We didn't buy a lot of things. Question number 2. I still have things to do. I still have things. Look at the word things. It has S. It has plural S. So it's a plural. It's a countable noun. So what can we use in front of it? Can we use a little, much, a few, or a lot? Which word can be used with countable? Very good. We use the word a few or a lot, but the word a lot is wrong here because it doesn't have of. We must use a lot of. So here we use a few things, because the word few comes with countable nouns, but the word much and little with uncountable nouns, right? Question number 3. I am going to buy bread. I'm going to buy bread. Look at the word bread. Is it countable or uncountable? Is there the plural S? Is there S to make it plural? No, of course not. It's uncountable noun. So I'm going to buy some bread, a few bread, 2 bread, or many bread. Of course, the word many, a few, are used with countable nouns, and the bread is uncountable. So we can use some bread. I want to buy some bread. Question number 4. Can you give me advice? Can you give me advice? What is this? This is a request. I ask someone to give me advice. So what can we use in front of the word advice? Is the word advice countable or uncountable? Again, the word advice is something abstract. We can't touch it. So it's uncountable. And again, there is no S here to make it plural. So it's uncountable. This is a mark that it's uncountable. So what can we use in front of advice? Can you give me a few advice, some advice, many advice, or one advice? Of course, we can't use one because it's uncountable. We can't count it. We can't use many or a few because these words are used with countable. So the answer is some. Can you give me some advice? And of course, we said before, even if we have any in these options, if we have the word any, we can't use it here. Can you give me any advice? No, it's not the right answer. Can you give me some advice? Because this is a request. So in a request or in an offer, we use the word some. Now let's move on to another important part of our lesson. This is the use of definite and indefinite article. What is the definite article? The definite article is the word the. And the indefinite article is a or an. These are the articles in English, and we call the definite article the. We use it with specific things. And the indefinite article a or an, we are going to talk about them in details. When to use the indefinite article a or an? When to use the definite article the? And when to use no article? Sometimes we have to use no article. We don't have to add any article. So sometimes we will add a or an, sometimes we will add the, and sometimes we don't have to add anything. Of course, a or an are added in front of a word that is singular. It must be singular, so it has to be countable, a countable word. So we can say a glass, but we can say a water. So the word water is uncountable. We can't use a in front of it. But we can use a or an in front of words that are singular. For example, we say a tiger, a lion, a giraffe, a desk, an orange, an apple, an architect, and so on. But we can't say a money because money is uncountable. So when do we use a or an? With singular nouns. It means that they are countable nouns. Look at these examples. The indefinite article a or an used before singular countable nouns. So they must be singular and they must be countable. Look at this example. He is a scientist. So we use a in front of the word scientist because it starts with a consonant. It starts with the letter S, so we say he is a scientist. Look at the other picture. What is this job? He is an architect. He is an architect. Why do we use an here? Because the word architect starts with the letter A. It's a vowel. So we use an when the noun starts with a vowel. What are the vowel sounds in English? The letters which show us vowel sounds are A, E, I, or U. But remember, the letter U can be a vowel and sometimes can be a consonant. It can be a vowel. When does the letter U becomes a vowel? It becomes a vowel when we pronounce it a, like uncle. When we say, I have an uncle, I have an uncle, because the letter U is pronounced a, an uncle. For example, when I say, I have an umbrella, because the letter U is pronounced a, an umbrella. But what about the word university? The word university starts with the letter U. But we say a university, a user of the computer. We say a user of the computer. We say a uniform. Again, it starts with the letter U. Let's look at the letter U when it is a consonant. Look at these examples. Remember and notice that the letter U can be sometimes consonant, not a vowel. For example, a user, a university, a uniform. You see these three words start with the letter U, but they are not a vowel because we pronounce it U. So we say a user, a university, a uniform. But if the letter U is pronounced A, like umbrella or uncle, we use an umbrella or an uncle. Again, there is an important note that the letter H sometimes can be silent. We don't pronounce it. So here we say an honest man, an honorable person, an hour. In these three words, the word starts with H, but it is not pronounced. We pronounce the O. We say honest, honorable, hour. So it's a vowel. So the most important thing is what you pronounce, not what you write. The sound, not the letter. The most important thing in using a or an is the sound you hear, not the letter you write. So when we say honorable person, we pronounce O. So we use an honorable person, an honest person. So we use O. We don't pronounce the letter H. Okay? Again, when we talk about the letter U, when we say a user of the computer, a university, it's a consonant. But when we say an umbrella or an uncle, it's a vowel. Look at this picture. I can see a cat. The cat is orange. Why do you think the first time we mentioned the cat, we said a cat? And why the second sentence we mentioned the cat? So what is the difference here between using a in front of cat in the first sentence and the in front of cat in the second sentence? Here there is a rule for you. If you mention something for the first time, it's indefinite. So you can say, I see a cat, I saw a man, I saw a car. This is indefinite. There are many of it in the street. But when you re-mention it or mention it again, it's definite. Here you are talking about something definite, something special. So when you say, I see a cat, the cat means the cat which I saw. The cat which I see now is orange. When I say, I saw an old man, the man had an accident, means the old man whom I saw. So I'm talking about a specific person or a person in particular, not anyone in the street. I'm talking about someone in particular, okay? So look at the definite article there. We use it when, as I said, when we talk about the person for the second time. Like this example, I can see a scooter, the scooter is blue. Definite article there again is used with unique things. Unique things like the sun, the moon, the star, the sky, these are definite, so we use that. We use that with ocean, seas, mountain ranges. So we say the Amazon, the Pacific, the Alps, the Sahara, the Canaries. So when we talk about ranges of mountains, we use a, like the Alps. But when we talk about singular mountain, we don't use that. So we say Mount Everest, for example. We use that again with countries which has these words, kingdom, state, republic. So we say the Arab Republic of Egypt, the United Kingdom, the United States. But of course, if the country is one word, like Egypt, France, and so on, we don't use that. We use that if it has more than one part, the United States of America or the USA. We use that again with musical instrument. So we say the flute, the lute, the piano, the guitar, so all the musical instruments. We don't use that with proper names. Proper names means the names of people. So we can't say the Steve. No, it's wrong. We can't say that. We say Steve, we say Ali, Ahmad. We can't say the Ali or the Ahmad. The only way in which we put the in front of names of people is that when we talk about the family. So if we say the Steves, we make it plural, you are talking about the family of Steve. We don't use the with countries which consist of one word, like Asia, continents or countries or towns, Asia, Africa, Europe, or Oxford. Lake Nasser, remember that the word lake is different from the other water bodies. So we say the Atlantic Ocean, the Red Sea, the Mediterranean Sea, but we say Lake Nasser without the. We don't use the with Mount Everest. We say Mount Everest, but we say the Alps. So if we are talking about a range of mountains, we use the. When we talk about singular mountain, we don't use the. So we say Mount Everest. We don't use the in front of meals. So we say I have breakfast, lunch, dinner. But if you are talking about a specific lunch, which when you say the lunch which my mother made, this is specific. But when we talk about lunch in general, I say I take lunch at 3 o'clock. We don't use the with the school subjects, mathematics, history, and so on. We don't use the with the word go home or go to bed. And this is a very important point. We don't use the with places which we go for its original reason. For example, we go to school. Why do we go to school? We go to school to learn. So we say we go to school. But if my father went to the school to meet the teacher, we say my father went to the school. So these places like school, hospital, prison, if we go to their original purpose, we don't use that. If we go for a visit, we use that. So we say he went to hospital after being injured in an accident. Here he is a patient. He went to hospital because he is a patient. He wants medical care. He went to the hospital to visit his uncle. Here he is not a patient. He is going just for a visit. So we say the hospital. Let's have some practice here. France is a European country. Of course, here we have the word European. It starts with the letter A, with the letter E. It's a vowel, but we don't pronounce it. Again, we have the letter U, but we pronounce it U, European. So it's not a vowel, it's a consonant. So we say France is a European country. So remember this very well, that the word European country doesn't take an. We don't say an European country, we say a European country because the letter E is not pronounced and the letter U is pronounced U, not A. Question number 2. The earth moves around, of course, the sun, because the sun is something specific, something unique, and we said all the words that are unique take that. So we say the sun. Question number 3. I asked Professor Ahmed about his childhood. Of course, here we have proper name, Ahmed, so we don't use that. If we don't have Ahmed, we can say I asked the professor. But if we have Ahmed, a proper name, we don't use that. So I asked, no article. I asked Professor Ahmed without any article. Question number 4. Fear is a sign of weakness. Again here, no article. Why no article? Because the word weakness is something which is abstract, something we can't touch. So it's we cannot use a or an or the. It's no article. So fear is a sign of weakness, of not being strong. If you fear, if you are afraid, this is a sign that you are not a strong person. This is a sign of weakness. Question number 5, Lake Nasser. Of course, again, no article because lake is doesn't take an or the, but if it is plural, it will take the. So we can say the Great Lakes, but when it is singular, we can't take the, so we say Lake Nasser. Okay, this is the end of our lesson today. We have discussed together the countable and uncountable nouns. We have discussed the definite and indefinite article. Remember these rules and practice a lot, because as you know, practice makes perfect. Till we meet again, wish you best of luck. Goodbye.